So we completed 2 classes. In the first 2 sessions, almost we discussed about the meaning of what is the meaning of Oracle and Fusion, financials and applications, the course curriculum, what we are going to see in our classes, what we are going to execute as a part of this training program. And we started working on the meaning of cloud, and we discussed how the cloud computing works in case of cloud, how the customers are going to get benefited. If they go with on-premise, what is the practice they have to follow? These are the points we discussed. Now we are jumping into day 3. The day 3, the agenda is cloud options, or you can say cloud models. And what is the landscape of the instance? Okay, landscape of instances. And the user creation. And we'll walk through a few other areas related to user. So when we talk about user creation, there are a few points which we have to understand. We'll discuss and we'll see the same in the instance also. So for completing these 3 areas, if time permits, we can go through a few other points also. So we discussed the meaning of cloud. What is the meaning of cloud? How that virtual servers can be hosted in the virtual cloud environment. They'll keep available for their customers in their nearest data centers so that user experience would be very rich. And client is not going to bother about all these items. Means the server infrastructure, licensing, DBAs, installation, maintenance, and everything will be taken care by Oracle in case of cloud or virtual instances. Say one company is going to adapt the cloud subscription for their business, and what are the different options are available from cloud or from Oracle. It could be any cloud computing company. These options are default and available for anyone. So if you talk about cloud options, primarily we have 3 options for any organization, any customer or client. Those are SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. Okay, SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. So depending on their purpose, they can choose what they need. If any client is going to use Oracle Fusion applications, they can choose SaaS or PaaS. Irrespective of application, what they need, they can choose IaaS. How these are different, let's get into that. The SaaS stands for Software as a Service. Software as a service. First, S stands for software, A stands for as, the third letter A stands for A, fourth letter S stands for service. Software as a service. And the PaaS stands for platform as a service. Platform as a service. Okay, platform as a service. And IaaS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. These are the three different subscription modes or subscription options are available from Oracle. Cloud options, or say cloud subscriptions, the modes and all, that's fine. So take these. Cloud options are cloud subscriptions. SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. If any company is going to choose SaaS subscription for that company, the reason would be mostly they don't want to do customizations. We'll understand what does it mean by customizations if you are not aware. So in case of SaaS, what customer is going to get? For what are the applications they take the subscription? They take the subscription, no license. In case of SaaS, we take the subscription. They get the applications, that is the first point. They'll get access to Fusion applications. That too they get through virtual server. The second point is, if they want to create any new pages within that SaaS model or SaaS instance, you can say, within the SaaS instance, so the pages, if you want to create the pages, it is not possible. Let me write as new pages. Not applicable. Okay, not possible. You cannot create any new pages in case of SaaS environment. And if you want to create the new applications, that is also not possible. So if any customer is going to use SaaS subscription, they can get applications what Oracle is delivering. They cannot create their own pages and own applications, but they can create reports if they required within that environment to view the data. Discuss the meaning of application means the pages, database, and reports. If client required any new reports, possible. Because reports are not going to disturb any product functionality. It is just to view the data. So that is the reason it is allowed. Another point. If you want to connect one application with another application, that is possible. That we call as integration. Integrations are allowed. Since you cannot do the new page creation and a new application, writing some custom procedures as per your business process or rules, that is not possible. You can say simply customizations are not possible. Customization means creating something new. Only reports you can create, since those are not going to impact the product functionalities, and you can create the new reports. And the rest, and integrations. Integration is nothing but connecting one application with another application. Mostly we connect Oracle Fusion applications with some third party. Say your client is using financials from Oracle and they're using HCM from Workday. If you want to connect Workday application with financials application, that is possible. You can create the connections between the applications. And if you want to view the data, how you want to see, you can create the new report and you can view the data, but you cannot create new pages, new applications. That we call as customizations. Reality, creating new report also we call as customization, since that is not going to impact anywhere, that we are not considering as a customization. So in case of SaaS, customizations are not allowed. What kind of customizations are allowed? Kind of report creation and integrations are possible. But more than that, Oracle is not allowing. Okay, more than that, Oracle is not allowing. And as a customer, if you are going to use Fusion applications for your organization with a SaaS subscription, if Oracle is going to come up with a new releases, if they are going to introduce new features, any changes to the product, your environment can be upgraded automatically. You don't need to worry about anything. Auto upgrade. Okay, auto upgrade. Auto upgrade is possible. Any changes Oracle is going to do the product, you no need to take care of all those things. You can just look into what are the changes, and accordingly you can make a plan. You can inform to Oracle with just one click. They can convert your environment into upgraded environment, latest environment. This is what possible in case of SaaS. Let's talk about PaaS and IaaS, and we'll focus on the questions. So in case of PaaS, you will get the product access for which applications you are going to take the subscription. Accordingly, you'll get access. And when you talk about creating the new pages, in case of PaaS, that is possible. You can do the customizations, new pages you can create. If at all you want to create altogether new application, that is also allowed. Anyway, reports, integrations possible in SaaS also, and very much possible in the PaaS. Customizations. Since you are able to do the customizations like new pages, new applications, writing some custom procedures, some custom logics, those also possible in case of PaaS. And auto upgrade is not possible, unfortunately. Why it is not possible? Why it is possible in SaaS? The reason is you are not disturbing anything here. Just you are using as it is what Oracle is providing. That is the reason it is easy for them to convert or to upgrade to latest. But you are playing with the application by creating new pages, new applications, and custom processes, etc. If Oracle is going to take initiative to upgrade automatically, that may work, but it doesn't fulfill the requirement of what is the purpose of the upgrade. You did many customizations, Oracle is going to upgrade. Where all customizations can be disturbed and those may not work and all. So that is the reason if you do any customizations as a part of PaaS environment, there is no auto upgrade option from Oracle. You have to follow the standard procedure of performing the upgradation activity by spending good amount of time. But here, just inform to Oracle today, by tomorrow they can upgrade. So that is the best possibility we have in case of SaaS. In PaaS, auto upgrade is not possible. And it could be SaaS or PaaS, Oracle will take care of the maintenance. Okay, your virtual server maintenance. Server maintenance, it's not a physical servers, virtual servers. Say virtual server. Okay, virtual server maintenance, Oracle will take care. We don't need any DBS. We don't need to worry about anything. So they will take care. Just we pay and we use. Here you can pay and use as it is, how it is available. Here you can pay and you can use and you can change as per your business requirement also. In case of IaaS, we are not going to get any application. You will get access to storage space. Just you will get access to storage space. For what purpose you want to use that storage space, that is up to us. That is up to us. Just will get access to storage space. In case of IaaS, we don't get any applications. If you take example of AWS, Amazon Web Services, there we can buy the storage space. Within that, you can store any data or you can install some applications and you can play around. That's how this IaaS stands for. Okay. So in case of SaaS, software as a service, the software they are providing, you can take as a service. In PaaS, they are going to provide software as a service. Along with that, they will provide the platform which enables us to do some customizations. in IaaS, they'll provide just this virtual server infrastructure. Within that, any application, any operating systems you can install and you can play with that. So that is the difference between SaaS and PaaS IaaS. The most of the clients, more than 95% of the clients are using SaaS only. Okay, the SaaS only. Very few clients are going with the PaaS. And when you talk about IaaS, when we talk about our Fusion applications, we no need to think about IaaS. When you say IaaS, it's just a storage space, nothing to do with the applications. Any application you can install and you can use those applications. But so when we are going to deal with any Fusion related implementations, so more than 95% you see clients are using SaaS. Rarely client will use PaaS wherever they want to do some customizations, where they are not going to bother about auto upgrades and all. This is the one point. So yeah, we'll see the questions on these areas. If no questions, we'll just move on to other areas what we have to understand. Any questions here from anyone, please?
Yes, regarding this PaaS thing, you are saying that the upgrades are not available. So, for example, if a customer has PaaS infrastructure with him, and if any upgrade is done to, let's say, financials, is it totally not available for the PaaS customer, or he has
available.
to,
Auto upgrade is not available. Upgrade is available. They can upgrade it. I mentioned clearly, auto upgrade is not applicable.
All right.
Yeah. So they have to follow standard procedure to upgrade, right? So that they have to follow. It's not like one button click. Any questions?
Right.
Yeah.
In SaaS and PaaS, what about the data difference?
There is no difference. There is no difference. What you see in the SaaS, the same you can find in the PaaS. Application wise, no difference. Only you will have a additional privileges in case of PaaS, like doing customizations. And the disadvantage is your environment cannot be auto upgraded. That is the difference. Data or application, everything is same. Only privileges are different.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So no questions. So this is all about what we have to understand about the cloud. Hope it is clear. We discussed if any client is going with on-premise, they have to take care of all these. If they choose the cloud virtual server, this all can be taken care by Oracle only. You don't need to worry about all these headaches. So they'll just the servers they will provide as a virtual servers. The servers are hosted by Oracle only. Those are not physical server. By using the big servers, big machines, they can generate the virtual servers. Wherever client is located, they'll keep available those virtual servers in the nearest data centers of the client. So when client is going to connect to the application, since the virtual servers are deployed and they kept available in the nearest data centers of the users, and the experience wise, it would be very rich. All the products nowadays, what we are using, those all are deployed in the cloud only. You take WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, XYZ. Everything running in the cloud. The moment you click, if you have internet connection, it will respond immediately. You can feel that is there in your application, in your device only, not somewhere else. That means the cloud applications, the cloud servers are deployed internet as a source. Wherever you have internet, you can feel your application is residing in the internet only, not somewhere else. That level of experience you can get by using the cloud. Now, if any questions, please. If no questions, we can move on to next topic. Any questions, please? Any sort of questions? It may be very, very basic. No worries. We'll discuss. Okay, let me mention one point.
So generally, which maximum it is use SaaS or PaaS environment?
95%. of the customers are using more than 95% SaaS. Okay, 5 to 6% PaaS. IaaS, we no need to worry about it. Anyway, no applications inside. Why most of the clients are using SaaS? To take the advantage of this auto upgrades and almost product is stabilized. Okay, if you take a 4 or 5 years back situation, it was not stabilized. It was not stabilized. Still, clients started using that by expecting if any gaps are there, Oracle is going to fill in the future. That expectation, clients are opted this SaaS subscription. Now all the clients are going with this SaaS only. Very less clients whose business process need to be customized for at any cost, they are going with the PaaS. Here, let me describe about the customization meaning. So customization mean creating something new which is not available in the application. Already we discussed what we call as customizations. It could be creating new pages, creating new application. You may create new application and creating reports, new reports, creating new interfaces. Connecting one application with another application, you can achieve by using the interface concept. You can integrate, you can connect with the interfaces. This all can be done by technical consultant. We are going to work as a functional consultant. This is not at all a job of functional. This all should be done by technical consultant. Now, we'll talk about the landscape of the instances. The landscape of instances. So what is the meaning of instance? The environment what we are going to get from Oracle to use the Fusion applications that you can call as instance. If you look at the term called as instance, the instance meaning is replica, copy. That means the copy of the software product what we are going to get, which is related to Fusion application, that we are calling as a instance. Now, if you take example of instance, so within instance you can have applications. Okay, within the instance you can have applications, you can have database. Already we discussed what application consists of. The pages, database, reports. When you say application, it means the pages, database, and the reports. The same definition you can take, but I'm writing databases separately by differentiating application. Okay, application consists of the pages and reports, and that would be connected to database to store the data. In every instance, you can have applications. But what are the applications you are taking the subscription? Those applications would be available within the instance, and you can access those instances and you can implement and you can use it. Reality, when we just get into the implementations, how many instances we use? By default, Oracle is providing 2 instances. By default, Oracle is providing 2 instances. You can opt for how many instances you require. You may have to pay additional bucks. You have to pay for that. By default, 2 you will get. For that, you will get as a part of your subscription fee. But if you want more than 1, you have to pay for it. Let's see what are the different instances we use and what purpose. The instances what we get from Oracle, mostly those we use for 2 purposes. One instance we use as a test instance. Test instance. The instance you can call as pod also. POD pod. We have iPod, the lightweight. So pod also you can call. In other words, you can call as environment. Okay, you can call as environment. Test instance or test pod or test environment. You can call with any name, all are same. So what is the purpose of this test instance? When you get into the implementation, first we have to test everything. What client need, what they are doing, we have to check in the test instance. The test instance will do all the setups and will test all their business scenarios. If you take example of payables application, so within the payables application, we do all the setups and we will see suppliers creation, invoice creation, payment creation, and other setups and the process we test and we show to the client and we take their acceptance and all. If everything is working fine in the test instance as per their business, then we will set up production instance. Production instance. Production instance is the one which client will use to record their day-to-day business transactions data. So this is a real instance. We directly don't jump into the production. Always we work on the test instance. If you take implementation duration as a 10 months, max 8 months, we will work on the test instance. We take business requirement, what business they are doing, what activities they are doing in each and every department or application, and how they are generating reports. That anyway, you'll come to know in the real-time related classes. So we take requirement accordingly, we set up the system and we'll show the system to the client and we'll take their acceptance. So to happen all these out of 10 months, you will take minimum 7 to 8 months. The rest of 2-3 months, you will work on the production. You do all the setups in this production instance and what are the suppliers they have, customers they have, the invoices, whatever they have in their current system, all the data will move into production instance. We do the setups and we'll move the data into this instance. Then they'll start using the production instance to record their business transactions. And if customer is going to use PaaS environment, or else it could be SaaS environment only, if they want to create new reports, that reports can be created within the test instance. Ideally, test instance for functional consultant, functional purpose, we use test instance. If your client is going to use SaaS environment, still you can use test instance for your customizations, to test the customizations, creating new reports and creating the integrations, interfaces to connect one application with another application. You can do all the trial and errors within the test instance itself. If you think you have more customizations, many reports, many interfaces, or else your client is using PaaS environment, they have to create new pages, new applications, still you can continue with the test instance, but you may get concerned to have another instance for your customizations purpose. So if you need one more instance, that we call as development instance. That you call as development instance. You can use the development instance for any kind of customizations purpose. Even you can use the test instance, but only the concern is it may disturb something which is configured by functional people. That means we use test instance. Technical people mostly use development instance. If development instance is not available, the same test instance can be used by functional and technical consultants. So as a functional consultant, we do the setups and we test whether those are working or not. The technical consultant can use the development instance. They do all the development, they do all the customizations, and they'll start checking. This is how it works. Right. Now, if they don't want to use the development instance, still test instance is available. But if they have many customizations, always suggestible to use development instance. They use development instance, they do all the customizations and they'll test the custom developments. So this is what you have to understand, the landscape of the instance in every project. By default, two: test instance and production instance. If at all you want to get one more instance to play with your customizations, you can get the development instance. These two instances to come up with this final instance called as production. Here you do all the testings, technical, functional testings, doing the setups, creating the transactions, running the reports, everything you just go through and you show to the client to take the acceptance. If everything is working fine, then everything you will move to production instance. Everything you can move to production instance. This is the final instance which a client required to use for their business. And here you can do anything, no worries. But production is very sensitive environment. So being a functional consultant, you should not do anything in that once implementation is done and until unless something is required by client. Along with these instances, Oracle is providing one more instance. So these instances for customers, clients, this instance for training purposes, training or learning purposes, one more instance Oracle is providing that we call as vision instance. We call it as vision instance. So what is the difference between these three instances and vision instance? When we get these three instances for any client, there won't be any sample data inside of these instances. We call as a fresh instances. We call as a fresh instances. When you talk about vision instance, this is purely for training purpose. Within that, you can find the sample data. Within the vision instance, you can find the sample data. Within the vision instance, you can find the sample data. So that's how you can find the vision instance. Right? So that's all about vision instance. Within the vision instance, you can find the sample data. In case of the test, development, and production, you don't find any sample data. This is what we have to understand. So this is a test instance we are calling, and the development instance you can call in short as a dev instance also. Short you can say dev instance. And production instance you can call as prod instance. Production instance you can call as prod instance. So this is the terminology we use. So any questions from anyone, please? And why we are calling it as vision? We discussed within this instance, Oracle is providing the sample data for reference purpose or training purposes. And the company name what they are choosing is vision. That is the reason we are calling as vision. If you are implementing for ABC company, you can call it as ABC instance. And since they are providing the instance with the sample data, within the sample data, they use a company called as vision. Company name is vision. So they are calling as a vision instance. This is what we have to understand. Any questions from anyone, please? No questions. Okay.
In this SaaS infrastructure, do we also get apart from test environment, product development environment is also given in SaaS?
It could be SaaS or PaaS. Okay, it could be SaaS or PaaS. By default, you will get two instances. Okay, test and production. Two instances we get, and we use one for testing purpose, another one for production. If you are comfortable to do all the customizations in the test only, okay, you can continue with the test for customizations also. If you think you have a good amount of customizations, it's always good. You can go with a additional instance where you can play with your customizations. That is our decision. You get two for free. I mean to say as a part of subscription, more than two, pay and use. Any questions, please?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in this test function, all the customizations that have been done, are these customization have to be done in the production, or they are just copy pasted through any link or?
Copy paste. There is option. You can just move the customer. Even setups you can move. Customizations also you can move. They'll just they are archived and they will upload into targeted environment.
All right, like export and import kind of
That's it.
option, export a file.
That's it. Same we do. Any other questions, please?
And this about the data which is provided in the vision. I mean, do we have to make customizations and implementation on our own by using the data, or this data is only kind of a business data like transactions, bank transactions and JVs or all that? I mean, what kind of a data do they give in vision?
Simple. They'll provide few suppliers, few customers, few items as a part of warehouse, and few invoices, few payments, bank accounts, etc. This they are not providing for customers, clients. This is for training purpose. Okay, this is what we have to understand. In case of customers, what instances we use. Vision instance not for customers. This is for consulting companies. So you are working for Wipro and your customer is ABC. ABC will get this 2 or 3. Wipro can get this vision instance. Since Wipro is consulting partner with Oracle, Oracle will provide vision instance for Wipro so that their consultants or internal purpose, training or other purposes they can use. These for customers, these for their partners. Okay. Any other questions, please?
Lakshman, I have one question. This is Ganesh. So,
Yeah.
in the normal world, we have the release management team who look into like how the issues come up, and then after we do the development, and then the testing passes.
Yeah.
And then you have a final, what you call, group of components like the code and configuration, which has to be migrated to production, right?
Yes.
So in that case, how does
the landscape is not going to be changed in terms of instance, and rest what you are talking about, those all you have to manage outside of the applications. And to manage that, you may go with some agile approach or waterfall or whatever the methodology you want to just manage to deal with all this, those you can do it. But when it comes to system, so these are the instances.
I understand that. So we will have a third-party tool to manage the release process. But how does the actual, so when the code and all the configuration changes that are required, they are bundled up into one release or it's kept somewhere. So how do you extract that from a development instance and put it into production? So in the real world, we have DBAs, so they know exactly what needs to be pulled out and what needs to be going to production. So in the cloud environment, how does that work?
Same process, there is no difference. Okay, whatever the practice we follow in EBS, same practice. First we do all the developments, depending on the size of developments, you'll make a proper plan. Okay, and you may go with a iteration mode or some isolated mode. Just you do all those things, get ready with the development. Once production is set up, once production is ready with the setups which should be done by functional consultants, the technical consultant will start moving the developments to production. That is a dependency. First, we have to complete all the functional setups being a functional consultant. Once system is ready with the required setups, these are add-ons, right? Customization means add-ons. They can move that customizations to production. And how they are managing the customizations, so what is the approach strategy, this all it's outside of the instance. They'll take care. The technical people will take care of it. Fine. Any other questions, please?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, fine. Now, let's talk about the user. Okay, let's talk about user. So when you talk about users, in the Fusion applications, the user what we create, we call as implementation user. We call as implementation user. So when you create implementation user, we have to give a certain permission to implementation user so that who is accessing the instance, that consultant will be able to perform, or the consultant will be able to access to the areas which are really required to do the implementation. When you create implementation user, we have to assign the two roles. We have to assign the two roles. The two roles are, one is application implementation consultant. Application implementation consultant. The other role is IT security manager. Application implementation consultant and IT security manager. There are the two roles we have to assign to user who is going to work as an implementation consultant. Who is going to work as implementation consultant. For the consultant, we have to create implementation user. When you create implementation user, we have to assign the two roles. One is application implementation consultant, other one is IT security manager. So what is the purpose of these two roles? If you assign application implementation consultant role to any user, that user will be able to perform the setups, or you can say configuration. So if you have access to application implementation consultant, you will be able to perform the setups or configuration. To use any application, we have to do certain setups that you can do by using this application implementation consultant. And if you get access to IT security manager, you can manage the security. Means creating new users, assigning roles. These activities. There are a few more other activities. We'll see once we get into application. So these 2 points we have to take. If anybody is going to work as implementation consultant, we have to create implementation user. For that user, we have to associate these two roles. The purpose of these two roles are this: performing setups and creating new users and assigning the roles to that user. So if you have access to application implementation consultant role, you will get access to the environment called as functional setup manager, FSM. FSM stands for functional setup manager. FSM stands for functional setup manager. Okay, so FSM stands for functional setup manager, and here you will get access to the environment where you can do the setups. So application implementation consultant role will give you the access to FSM. If you have access to FSM, you can do the setups. When we assign an IT security manager role to user, that user will be able to create new users, and the user can assign the roles to required roles to specific users. If you want to do that, the IT security manager role should allow you to access security console. So IT security manager will provision access to security console. From security console, you can create the users and you can assign the roles to any other users. This is what we can do. These two roles, what we are discussing, those are delivered by Oracle. Those are Oracle delivered roles. Those are Oracle delivered roles. So roles, whatever delivered, whatever the roles Oracle is providing, the roles which we get along with instance, those we call as seeded roles. We can create our custom roles also. Whatever the roles we require, we can create our own roles. New roles we can create, those we call as custom roles. We'll see in our classes how to create the custom roles, how to copy edit, how to create the role from the scratch. And there are many other points which you have to understand. We'll see as a part of our classes. Now you can take the point. The roles what Oracle is providing, those we call as seeded roles. Those we call as seeded roles. Done. Any questions here, please? If no questions, we'll go and see in the instance how to create the user, how to assign the roles. So based on these roles, how you can get access to FSM as well as security console. Any questions from anyone, please? No questions. So we'll go and see how this user can be created and all. So this is a cloud instance which I'm accessing. So if you want to access this cloud instance, you don't need any additional filing, downloads and kind of plugins, etc. Directly you can access this environment from any internet enabled devices. Even you can access this instance from your smartphone. So that much compatible. First, I'll log into this instance with one user and we'll see how to create the user. When it comes to your practice, you'll get the user credentials for this instance, log into the instance, follow the same process what I'm going to drive now. So I'm going to use the user called as some fin IMPL. Let's provide password, sign in. Now, what we want to do, we want to create implementation user. The user you can create from security console. Security console. Let's see how to navigate to security console. We'll understand all these what you are able to see here, but not now. We need some time. Now our target is user creation. To create the new user, you click on this bar icon. It is a navigator icon in the Fusion applications, and you can click on it. And another point is if you compare Fusion with EBS, could be 11 or R12, Fusion is completely web-based. No form you see here, completely web application. Click on the navigator. So within the navigator, you can find tools, expand tools. Under tools, there is one task called as security console. In Fusion applications, whatever you do, that we call as a task. We are performing the task. We are performing the task. So this under tools, whatever you see that you call as a task. Now select task called as security console. Just click on security console task. It will take us to security console page. Ignore this message. So we are in security console. We are in security console. Let's see how to create the new user. Select users. Click on add user account. We are going to create implementation user. We have other type of users also. We'll see that. If you want to create other type of users, we need minimum setups in the system. In the fresh instance, what you have to do is you have to create your own user. So click on add user account. And you can provide a last name, first name, email, and other details, the username, password, and confirm password. If you want to provide, you can provide all, or else you can provide whatever you think as a mandatory. I'm just giving us Cloud ERP as a username and set password. And you can click on save and close so that your user would be ready. The roles, whatever you want to assign to this user, these roles you can assign the same time by clicking on add roles, Or else after creating user, you can come back to the same user definition and you will be able to add the roles. You can add now or later. We'll add after some time. First, let's see how to create the user. So provide last name, which is mandatory. If you want to give first name, email ID, you can provide. Set username and provide password and confirm it. Click on save and close. Find out user whatever we created. Cloud ERP. Fine. Here you can see display name, user display name is Cloud ERP, username is ERP Cloud, email ID we didn't provide. The status of the user is active. Is this user account is locked? No, it is not locked. And there are certain actions which you can take on this user account. You can log this account. If you log this account, we cannot log into this instance with this user. And you can reset the password. Anytime you can reset the password, you can select reset, say manually change the password, and you can set new password. Click on reset password. Okay, done. There are a few more actions. If you want to delete the user, you can delete it, not at all recommended. And you can compare one user with another user. When you talk about compare, it's all about, if you take one user, you can go and compare. If you click on compare, it will ask you to select one more user. So between those two users, how the roles are different and other points you can verify. Okay, once you create few users, you will be able to do it. Say I created one user, I assigned a few roles to that user. I want to create similar user. I can copy the user so that whatever the roles are associated with that user, the roles will be copied and you can give the new name for that user. So that's how you can make use of the existing users. So this is all about how to deal with a user record. Now, we'll see how to associate the roles. To associate the roles with this user, you can click on username. Click on edit to assign the roles to this user. Click on edit. And here is the tab called as add role. We'll go and assign those two roles to this user with the respective purposes. Click on add role. And the role name is application implementation consultant. You type application implementation. In terms of fetching these roles, it is taking time. It's moving very slow. I just typed only application implementation. Below you can see the different classification of roles. Application implementation administrator, application implementation consultant, application implementation manager. These are the three classification of roles we have with application implementation. So out of these three, you have to choose consultant role. Don't go with other roles not required. Relatively, the application implementation consultant role got more privileges than administrator and manager. Okay, when you compare, you will find all the privileges in consultant role only, not in administrator and manager. The administrator and manager roles can have a limited access to the application. So always you assign consultant role, not administrator or manager. So look for consultant role. Now here you can find application implementation consultant role. And next to that, in this record also, you can see the same application implementation consultant. And few more roles we have somebody copied, that ignore it. We don't need to deal with this. Somebody for practice purpose, they copied. Even we'll see how to copy. So these are the two. How these two are different? Names are same, but codes are different. If you look at these two, the names are same, codes are different. Okay, codes are different. The first role code is starting with ORA, second role code is starting with ASM. ORA, ASM. Which one you have to choose? Anyone you can choose. But there is some slight difference that we will discuss so that we can understand as a part of role customization session. We'll have one separate session to understand how to create the roles, how to modify the roles, or how to create from the scratch. In that session, I'll talk about the difference. For now, you don't find any difference. Anyone you can choose. Anyone you can choose. I'm choosing which is starting with ORA. Select it. And for the same role, somebody created copy. So the same is being displayed. Now you choose whatever Oracle is providing. Okay, the exact name is Application Implementation Consultant. There is no prefix or suffix text to that name. Select, click on Add Role Membership. Click on Add Role Membership. So that's how you can assign the role to user. Okay, that's how you can assign the role to user. We assigned. One more role we have to assign, that is IT Security Manager. One more role is IT Security Manager. Select and select the same role. Here we have only one copy and the same is copied and they mention do not use. They might have done some changes, but we are not looking for which are created by somebody. We are looking for the roles which Oracle is delivering, which Oracle is providing. So select IT Security Manager, click on Add Role Membership and click on Done. We plan to assign 2 roles. There are many roles which you have to assign. That totally depends what exactly you are doing. We will just, when we get into that phenomena, we'll see all those. Now click on OK, done. To this user, Cloud ERP user, we assign 2 roles and you can say save and close. Now with this user, you can log into the instance and you can verify you got access to what you are expecting through these roles. So click on done. So here is our user. We are ready with this user. We can log into the instance and you can play with this user. When we are working as a consultant in any implementation, we get one user from the client team. Client will keep in touch with Oracle to take the subscription. They'll provide instance credentials. It could be 2 or 3 or 4 instances, whatever client subscribed will get access to those instances. In every instance, there will be one user called as FA admin. This is a default user. In past, Oracle used to give this and later they stopped giving it because people are changing the password and they're doing many things. So that is the reason they stopped giving this. And they create one user, they'll provide that user. With that user, you can create your own users and you can start working on instance. This is how it works. So when we are into project, you get certain user credentials from your client or your project manager. And if you are in contact with Oracle, you may get being a consultant, but mostly we get these credentials from client only. From client IT team we get. Then we can log into the instance with this user. You can create our username. Mostly when we work as a finance consultant, we create a user as a something like PIN IMPL. So SCM consultant can create SCM IMPL, means SCM implementation user. So HCM IMPL, procurement PRC IMPL, that's how we can create. Or else if you go with some different naming convention, nothing wrong. Mostly every consultant will have their own users by including their functional areas where they are going to involve for the implementation. By including the users can be created by themselves and they assign these 2 roles so that they can start working on the instance with the full privileges. So this is what we have to understand. Any questions on this, please? There are a few more points we will discuss before we jump into that. Any questions from anyone, please? Any questions? No questions. Yeah. Now, we'll connect to this instance as a cloud ERP user and we'll verify the cloud ERP user is able to access to FSM and security console. Okay, fine. Now, so first we'll check this user got access to security console because of IT security manager or not. We are going to check. Go to navigator. Within the navigator, go to tools. Expand tools. Under tools, if you are able to see security console, it means this user got access to IT security manager that is allowing you to see security console. You can click on security console and you will be able to create the user from here. Done. Please go on mute. Banu. Yeah. Fine. So you can create new users. You can create new users and you can assign the roles how you require. From cloud ERP user, you are able to create the user. And we'll check this user is able to access to FSM environment. Click on username. It is opening panel. Within the panel, if you are able to see setup and maintenance task, it means you have access to FSM. We'll go and land on that page. Just hit this setup and maintenance task. Everything we got with hyperlink. See there. And this is a page we call as FSM, Functional Setup Manager. From this page, you can do any application related configuration. See here, you have a financials. You select financials. Within the financials, you have a different applications. You have a payables application, you have expense application, fixed assets, receivables. Okay, the different applications we have, you can start implementing, you can start doing the setups. If you select applications like, say, procurement, this is the order management application. So procurement, within the procurement, we discussed financials, procurements are product families. Product families means list of relevant applications. So if we talk about procurement, within the procurement, you can see applications like sourcing application, supplier portal application, procurement contracts. These all are part of procurement application. So this is how just you can get access to security console. You can create new users and you can assign the roles. And you can get access to FSM to perform the setups. For these two, we have a different roles. So this is what we have to understand about the user creation and role provisioning. We provisioned access to so-and-so roles. Accordingly, we will be able to access the application environment. Any questions here, please? We'll get into these areas more detail level now as an introduction, like user creation, the areas what we can access, we are discussing. So when we pick any application, we'll go more detail level. We'll discuss everything. Any questions from anyone, please? Fine. No questions. So if no questions, we can wind up for today. Today and tomorrow, we'll run the classes with a limited time because there are many participants who are interested. Due to this holiday season, those guys are not available. They may catch up from the next weekend. So I'm trying to limit the content what we are discussing in this weekend. From next weekend onwards, we'll just stretch the timings up to like what we will be comfortable, and accordingly we'll run the classes. Okay. So any questions from anyone, let me know. We'll discuss. If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow same time.
Hey, Lakshman, this is Ganesh. So I
Ganesh.
have a question. You showed that there are 2 roles to be done. So those information you'll be giving us in a document or something, or so
The
that
same
we will.
sheet I am going to share.
Oh, the sheet you're going to share.
Yeah,
Perfect.
everything I'll be writing in the classes. See, this is how I'll write. This sheet access you will get. I'll place in the Google Drive. You can download. Not only for
Okay.
these areas, for every application also. For every application, I'll list out the setups in the sheet we will do in the system. And we will, what process we are going to do, that also I'll list out. Exact steps also I will list out. So this would be very quick reference for you.
Got it.
Yeah, fine. Any other questions from anyone, please?
So roughly, can I continue my question?
Yeah, please,
One fast.
please. Yeah, please.
So this IT security manager is something related to sysadmin in
Exactly. A sysadmin
where
is
you-
more than IT security manager, I can say. If you have
Oh.
access to sysadmin, you can create the users, right? And you
assign
can create the
responsibility.
responsibilities, you can create the custom menus,
Yes.
right? Those
Yeah.
all you can do. With the help of system administrator, you can create the responsibilities and you can do the setups. Here, they separated. Setups
Okay.
you can do from here. The administration related activities you can do here. User creation, role assignment, creating the custom roles. Now EBS menus are equal to roles here.
Okay.
Menus you cannot assign to user directly in EBS, right?
Yes.
If you want to assign the
Yeah.
menu to user, what we have to do? We have to use the intermediate step called as responsibility.
Response. Yeah. We need
Through
response.
responsibility, you can map any menu to user so that through responsibility, user can have access to relevant functions which are part of that responsibility menu. But
That's
in Fusion, directly you can assign role to user. Whatever we have in the role, user can get access. There is no intermediate step of responsibility in the Fusion. No responsibility concept.
no responsibility. Okay.
No responsibility. Direct direct role access to user.
So the role can be equated to responsibility.
Here, yeah. As a part of responsibility, what we include? We include menu and programs,
Function.
right? Request group.
Request group and function. Yeah.
Yeah. In the request group, you can have programs and reports.
Yes.
The menu functions.
Menu function.
Those
Yeah,
two are
those are main
combined into roles in the Fusion.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you assign role to any user, user can access to whatever inside of that role are available. That's all.
Thank you. That is awesome. That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions, please? Okay. So no questions. That's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow same time and we'll talk about how to create implementation project. What is the purpose of implementation project we need to create within the instance. And again, there is a difference between real-time implementation project and within the system, what we create and how these mappings can be done. We will focus on those areas. Yep. So we'll catch up tomorrow, same time. If no questions, we can wrap up for today. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Lakshman.
Yeah, thank you so much. Any questions, please? No questions. Great. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.